Hey guys, this week I am up on my cozy reading chair, my little reading nook. You can see all the books behind me. This is where I like to sit and do reading for my classes, sometimes just for fun. Buddy likes to hang out up here too. Sometimes he sits on the wood floor, even though he has a perfectly nice dog bed right here, but he still sleeps on the floor. Today's story is short. Now, the reading we did for church today was a little bit longer, but I want to focus just on one little bit with you guys this week. So let's launch into, no story Bible today because this reading is so short. They didn't include it in the story Bible. So we're gonna have to use our imagination, and I will read us the words from one of my Bibles on my shelf here, and we can picture it in our minds. Here we go. This is the one I'm gonna use today. This is my copy of the Holy Bible, and it's the Common English Bible, which means that it's English written in more common words than we might find in other versions of the Bible. So the bit we're gonna be reading this week is from the book of Luke, the same gospel that we've been hearing these last couple weeks, and it's chapter 13, verses 31 through 35. And you know how in some books chapters have titles? Well, it doesn't really work that way in the Bible, but sometimes the people that put together the Bibles give little headings at the start of certain sections because they want us to know roughly what that section's about. So you can kind of think of it like a chapter title. Now, the little heading for the bit that we're gonna hear says, "Sorrow for Jerusalem." Now remember, Jerusalem is the big city in Israel. Pretty important place, and we've heard about it in a couple other stories. This is a story about feeling sorrow, sadness, about Jerusalem. At that time, some Pharisees approached Jesus and said, "Go, get away from here because Herod wants to kill you." Pause, couple words there we need to think about. Pharisees, who are they? They're sort of priests in the Jewish faith, people that know a lot about Jewish law, and they're telling Jesus to get away because Herod, who's Herod? He is a really powerful guy, and they're telling Jesus to get away because Herod is coming after him. Okay, let's get back to the story. Jesus said to them, the Pharisees, "Go tell that fox, look, I'm throwing out demons and healing people today and tomorrow, and on the third day I will complete my work. However, it's necessary for me to travel today, tomorrow, and the next day because it's impossible for a prophet to be killed outside of Jerusalem." Jesus is saying, listen, I know what I have to do. I have to keep healing people, keep casting out demons, and keep going to Jerusalem. Now we get this bit where Jesus is crying out to Jerusalem, the city, and all the people inside of it. "Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets and stone those who were sent to you." Now, I don't think Jesus is thinking that every single person in Jerusalem is out stoning prophets and killing them. I think what Jesus is saying is that all of these big prophets in Jewish history have died in Jerusalem. "Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets and stone those who were sent to you. How often have I wanted to gather your people, just as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you didn't want that. Look, your house is abandoned. I tell you, you won't see me until the time comes when you say, 'Blessings on the one who comes in the Lord's name.'" Woo, lots of stuff to unpack there. We unpacked a little bit as we went, but let's talk about this last bit where Jesus is crying out to the whole city of Jerusalem. He says, I know lots of prophets have died in Jerusalem before, but he said earlier, he's gonna go anyway. And then he calls himself a mother hen. Then he reminds them of just how much he wants all the people in Jerusalem to come to him and be near to him and be near to God. "How often have I wanted to gather your people, Jerusalem, all the people? How often have I wanted to gather your people as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings?" Have you ever seen a mother hen gathering chicks under her wings? If you don't know anybody that has chickens or you haven't seen any videos online, but here, check out this picture of a hen doing just that. She's keeping her babies safe under her wings, right? She's drawing them close so that they can be safe. That's what Jesus says he wants to do with all the people in Jerusalem. He says to them that their house is abandoned. Abandoned means that nobody lives there. anymore. People have moved out, but there are still people in Jerusalem. So what does Jesus mean when he says that their house is abandoned? Well, what he means is that they are a part of the house of God, but they've been doing things that have been separating them from God. They're not wanting to draw near and live the way that God wants them to live. It's like they are not home. It's like they've abandoned their house. This house that God made them, that God wants them to live with God within. Jesus tells them that their house is abandoned and says that they won't really see him until he comes into the city when they're all saying blessings on one who comes in the Lord's name. This is kind of like a spoiler alert for what's going to happen later when Jesus does go into Jerusalem. And all the people are so excited to see him and they say blessings on the one who is coming in the Lord's name. Doesn't really mean that everybody in Jerusalem suddenly falls in love with Jesus. But he does have this happen when he comes into the city. Everybody's really excited, but slowly they start abandoning him. They don't draw near, like that picture of all of the chicks underneath the wings of the mother hen. That's what today's story is all about. Today's story is about Jesus wanting us to get close and shelter under his wings, like those chicks shelter under the mother hen's wings. Now, we might not want to think of ourselves as little chicks. Sure, they're pretty cute, and I think you all are pretty cute. I think I'm pretty cute, but I don't really see myself as much of a little chick. Maybe I think of myself as a big, strong animal, one that's brave and can go out and do what it wants and doesn't need no mother hen to look after it. But that's not the point of this story. The point of this story is that God wants us near to God. Jesus says that he wants to gather us in. So we might not think of ourselves as little chicks who want to hide underneath the wings of a big mother hen all the time. But that's exactly what God wants us to do in our relationship with God. God wants us to be nice and snuggly and right up in there so that we can feel the heartbeat of the mother hen, so that we know we are safe and held. That's the kind of relationship God wants with everybody. So even if you don't really feel like much of a puffy, cute little chick, maybe you can think about how you can have the kind of relationship with God that a chick has with a mother hen. One where you can feel safe and warm and protected underneath her wings. Safe and warm and snuggly and super comfortable, and with your ear kind of flopped out the wrong way, and you're on your side in your snuggly dog bed and not on the hardwood floor. Sorry, I'm just talking about Buddy now, aren't I? Shh, Buddy's sleepy. He's very cozy and safe and warm. Okay, guys, that's it for this week. Okay, I don't think he minds if I talk to you. I hope you take some time this week to feel close to God, to feel nice and safe and warm and protected by God. Think about how awesome it is to have a God that wants us to be so close, to hear their heartbeat and know that God's not going anywhere. What a privilege. What a blessing it is to have that kind of a God in our lives. All right, friends, Buddy's still sleepy. I might read a book, so I might stay up here for a little while longer, but I will see you all, maybe here, maybe downstairs, who knows, next week. Bye. You gotta stay still because your toenails are too noisy. Let's do this.